The following program contains shocking assertions of truth. If you suffer from relativism, Randall may not be right for you. Check with your local guru.
Proclaiming the truth in the highways and byways of the world. Fighting for justice in the dark alleys of politics. Raising the voice of resistance to a fevered pitch. And he knows where to find the best and worst jail food in America. Randall Terry.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to today's program. Oh, what a show it's gonna be. Yeah, we're gonna talk about Herman Cain, and we're gonna look at a view inside of a university where they may or may not even be able to think that and so much more. Today's program brought to you in part by Clarence Thomas and Anita Hill. Oh, for the good old days. And by Gloria Allred, who has brought you more scandal than most lawyers alive. You go, girl. I'll be right back after a quick word from my friend, Sir Reginald Bling.
Just turn the thing on. I got something to say. Herman Cain, you have sinned. Oh, yes, you have sinned, my brother, and now you are going to pay the price. Now, I'm not talking about some allegation about this woman or that woman. That's a sin. We all know that. I don't know what even happened. I wasn't there. The sin you have committed is that you are a black man running in a white man's club. You had the audacity to take on Mitt Romney and Rick Perry. You had the audacity to leave the Democratic plantation and to run as a conservative, pro-life Republican. Have you looked in the mirror lately? Have you seen the color of your skin? You are black, and the political racists and the political segregationists are going to beat you like they beat up Clarence Thomas. So I'm telling you right now, get ready to take your butt whooping because you have sinned against the big, powerful establishment. Whoa.
Welcome to the program, friend. I recently had the privilege of speaking at the Western Illinois University and spent quite a bit of time on campus talking in different classes and with impromptu debates with various students. It was a lot of fun. We're going to play a portion of my impromptu speech at a poli-sci class at the university. I hope that you enjoy it. I have to admit, I had a lot of fun doing it, and I was very alarmed at what the students were and were not learning. All right, so, Doctor, what I thought I would do is to just do what I do best, which is jolt people. I have spent over 1 year of my life locked up behind bars in various state and federal prisons for civil disobedience, for protest along the Dr. Martin Luther King venue, peaceful protest. I was locked up in a federal prison in Pennsylvania. I was in a prison work camp, a chain gang in Alpharetta, Georgia, outside of Atlanta. I can tell you where some of the best jail food in America is and some of the worst jail food. And the difference between, that was a joke, you can laugh, right? Tough crowd, man. One of the difference between me and some of the politicians that I got my jail time out of the way before I went to office. So I take this very seriously. I've been sued repeatedly by my political adversaries. I was driven into bankruptcy, and on the day of my filing, it was a $1.6 million filing, and they ended up getting my home, even my frequent flyer miles. The Declaration of Independence, here's the jolting part, you ready? The Declaration of Independence is part of the organic roots of our nation's governance. The Constitution actually says, in the year of our Lord, blah, 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 and in the 13th year of the Declaration of Independence, or the founding of America. The founders of this republic who signed the Declaration, and then those who framed the Constitution, were basically two different batches of people. There were only 3 people that were in both conventions. The Declaration of Independence is a theocentric document. Do you understand the word theocentric? God-centered. The Declaration of Independence is a God-centered document. The founders of this republic staked the Declaration and the war against England on theocentric principles, God-centered principles about life and liberty. Now, who can tell me the 4 references to God in the Constitution? They don't have to be in order. Go ahead. There are 4 references to God. And not in the Constitution, in the Declaration, I mean. Any guesses?
Divine providence.
Thank you. I'll come back to that one. That's 1. There are 4. Oh, I love doing this. The doctor is exempt. No professors, because I want to see what the students are, what y'all are learning out here in the University of Western Illinois. Come on, take a guess.
The laws of nature of God's entitlement.
Thank you. The laws of nature and nature's God, that's 2. All men are endowed by their creator with certain inalienable rights. And towards the end of the document, they said, appealing to the supreme judge of the world to uphold the rectitude of our actions. All right, so let's go over them very quickly, because this is central to those of you that want to get involved in politics. Every political theory is based upon something, okay? The redistribution of wealth, class warfare, it's based upon the principles and ideas of Karl Marx. The ideas of life, liberty, property that are enshrined, or discussed rather, in our Declaration and enshrined in some of the earlier governing documents of this nation, they were founded self-consciously in Judeo-Christian ethics, or theocentric law. And the Declaration of Independence, even though we hear all the time, the framers of this republic were so afraid of religion, that's just bullcrap. They understood that it was, number 1, the laws of nature and nature's God. That phrase, they said, with a decent respect to the opinions of mankind, and we're going to separate because we have these rights that are given to us according to the laws of nature and nature's God. That phrase, that couplet, the laws of nature and nature's God, involves 2 things, natural law and revealed law. Who knows what natural law is? Who knows what revealed law is? Revealed law is special law. Moses and Christ. The 10 Commandments and the Sermon on the Mount, that's revealed law. So when Jefferson wrote the laws of nature, he's talking about natural law there, which is the ability of man to know right and wrong through reason. The laws of God are written on our hearts. There are certain things that nature itself says, this is good, this is bad. Natural law and revealed law, the laws of nature and nature's God, the laws of God. All men are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights. Among these are the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. You have your rights from God. They do not come from the state. They do not come from the government. If the government gives us our rights, then the government can take them away. So when they said, we hold these truths to be self-evident, do you understand that a self-evident truth is something that you don't even have to discuss? When we all come together, it's self-evident that we think that the sun shines brightly and that it's dark at night. It's self-evident. We're not going to debate it. We're not going to discuss it. We're not going to spend a lot of time having committees about it. They said there are things that are self-evident, that you are endowed by God, your Creator, with certain rights that can't be alienated from you. You can't separate, you can't alienate your right to life, to liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Or the other way that they used to say it was life, liberty, and property. Thank you. Life, liberty, and property. So these rights, life, liberty, property, they come from God, and you can't be separated from them. So number 1, we have the laws of nature and nature's God. That's revealed law and natural law. Number 2, we have you're endowed by your Creator with certain rights. Number 3, they said, hey, we appeal to the supreme judge of the universe to uphold the rightness of our cause. This is a prayer. They're saying, God, you judge between us and the English. And God did, evidently. And then they said, with a firm reliance, thank you for divine providence, with a firm reliance on divine providence, we pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, our sacred honor. Divine providence is a theological statement. It started with Abraham. And you ever heard of provision? Like military, provision. The word provisum or providence means to see ahead. Pro means ahead and visum means to see. Provision is you see ahead and you provide for what you're going to need when you get down there. Providence, the doctrine of providence, is God sees ahead that we're going to need something. You know, you go into a situation, oh man, thank God this was here waiting for me. That's providence. George Washington's going to be in trouble. He needs a fog on the river to cross. Providence. So they said, with a firm reliance on divine providence, we pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, our sacred honor. So we have God, the creator, God, the lawgiver, God, the one who answers prayer, the judge, and God, the provider. Those four references to the deity only had meaning in a Judeo-Christian theological framework. It wasn't Islam, it wasn't Hindu, it wasn't Buddhist, it wasn't even deist. There were only a couple of founders that were deists, but a deist says God made the world and walked away. He doesn't say that God answers prayers or that God judges between the Americans and the English. The deist just says God is, and that's it. The Judeo-Christian framework is God is, he made us, he judges us, he gave us rights, he gave us laws. And that theocentric element of the Declaration of Independence is central to the American experiment of self-government. It's central. So the reason, and I'm about out of time, and then I'll take questions if you have any. The reason that I'm telling you this is because we've been taught in college. I have a bachelor's in theology, a bachelor's in communications, and a master's in international diplomacy and terrorism. Diplomacy and international terrorism. We're taught oftentimes in high school and sometimes in higher learning that we should we should run away from any theocentric discussion or God-centered discussion of life, liberty, justice, law. But it's part of the very core of our founding. And it was part of the core of Frederick Douglass and Sojourner Truth and Levi Coffin and all the great heroes of the abolitionist movement. William Lloyd Garrison. They all had a theocentric view of liberty, and they said basically that America has betrayed the Declaration of Independence. It was a mockery. They had slaves. God gave the slaves the right to these inalienable rights as well, and these rich white landowners have taken that right away, and God's going to bring judgment on us. So if you read some of the abolitionist documents, they are incendiary. David Walker's appeal. David Walker was a black man who lived in Boston, and he prophesied the Civil War. He said, hey, maybe we won't be able to rise up and overthrow you, but we have a right to do so. But even if we can't, sometimes God causes families and brothers to rise up and fight each other. But this scourge will be driven from this nation because there is a God in heaven who hears our cry. So with that, I finish. Yes. Thank you, Andrew, for some great camera work. It was a great trip. Remember to tell your friends about watching this online at terrycast.com. I'm going to take a quick break. When we come back, let's talk about Herman Cain.
It's about time that drunk drivers are taken off the road. They're a real menace to those of us who text while we drive.
Hi, Joe Costello here, founder of Kylea Health and Energy. I've been making superb nutritional supplements for over 15 years, and from day one, I've partnered with Randall Terry, helping to fund his invaluable work in reclaiming our country's biblical and godly roots. I want to share with you a product that has changed hundreds of thousands of lives since its inception.
Introducing the Total Living Drinks, Greens and Berry, the ultimate superfood formulas that provide you the 9 essential areas of nutrition your body needs on a daily basis. Each serving of the Total Living Drink provides the life-giving phytonutrients that come from the equivalent of 5 servings of organic vegetables and berries, enzymes for better digestion and nutrient absorption, protein for building lean muscle mass so you can burn more fat for fuel, probiotics for better intestinal function, herbs for building energy and stamina, antioxidants for maximum immune function and disease prevention, and all the vitamins and minerals you need for slowing down aging and maximum health. You would have to take 30 to 40 capsules each day and spend almost $10 a day to match the over 30,000 milligrams of total nutrition in each scoop of the Total Living Drink. Order right now and get started on the amazing Total Living Drink. They come in 2 delicious flavors, Total Living Drink Greens and Total Living Drink Berry. And every single dollar we receive, we give a generous amount to Randall Terry's organization to help further his work and further the kingdom. Visit us online at the address on your screen and receive an online discount or call the toll-free number. Call today, and for the daily price of a latte, you can get back on the road to better health and energy with Kylea's Total Living Drink.
Moments with Moses. You shall put the inhabitants of the city to the sword, destroying it utterly, all who are in it, and its cattle, with the edge of the sword.
Welcome back to the program, friend. Let's talk about Herman Cain. And I'd like to talk about this in a historic, spiritual, biblical framework. Perhaps what we're dealing with here is Potiphar's wife. If you're familiar with the story of Joseph serving in Egypt as a slave, you will remember that a woman falsely accused him because he would not have sex with her. That's a possibility. It seems unlikely, but it's possible. Another possibility is that we're dealing with a Samson, somebody who has the hand of God on them and is a serial fornicator, goes from Philistine woman to Philistine woman to Philistine woman, until finally one of those women is the cause of his downfall. Another possibility, and one that seems the most likely to me, is that we're dealing with a sinner, like King David, and we're dealing with a David and Bathsheba situation. As you may remember, Bathsheba was on the rooftop taking a bath. Now, if you've ever been to Jerusalem, you know that the streets are so close together that if your neighbor's wife is taking a bath up on the roof and waving at you from the bathtub, toodaloo, well, she might as well be in your living room having a bath with glass around that you can see through because it's that close. So there she is. She knows she's being watched by David. We all know what happened. David further exacerbates the crime by having her husband killed. God comes to the prophet David and says, this baby born to you by by Bathsheba is going to die. The child dies. David comforts Bathsheba. She is now his wife. And they have another baby son. This son is named Jedediah. That's right, Jedediah, which in Hebrew means beloved of the Lord. This baby boy we know as Solomon. And Solomon became the wisest and most famous king in all of Israel's history. Mind you, Solomon was born less than 2 years after the horrific crimes committed by David. Now, these allegations against Mr. Cain are apparently about 20 years old. Doesn't mean that they're not serious. Doesn't mean that they're not true. Let's assume that the worst of them is true and that the women involved were kind of playing the role of Bathsheba, which seems highly likely to me from everything I've seen and read. Well, in that case, could it be that there is forgiveness? I mean, after all, David stayed on the throne. Could it be that there is redemption? After all, Solomon was born from Bathsheba. And could it be that the kingdom of God itself would be extended through a Herman Cain presidency? I mean, after all, Solomon and Bathsheba are in the lineage of Christ. You and I probably wouldn't have chosen to have them mentioned in the lineage of Christ, would we? But God is a forgiving God and a redeeming God. Let's see how this all plays out. But remember, there is a God in heaven who extends mercy and grace and who uses fallen creatures, dare I say it, like you and like me and like Herman Cain to effect his will on earth. I'll be right back.
I'll even donate my voice so that you don't cluck like a clucking, moronic, stupid peahead. I'll give you my backbone and my voice box if you just promise to use it.
Hi, Joe Costello here, founder of Kailea Health and Energy. I want to share with you a product that has changed hundreds of thousands of lives.
Introducing the Total Living Drinks, Greens and Berry, the ultimate superfood formulas that provide you the 9 daily essential areas of nutrition your body needs. Each scoop provides the life-giving phytonutrients that come from the equivalent of 5 servings of organic vegetables and berries, probiotics for better intestinal function, antioxidants for disease prevention, and vitamins and minerals for establishing maximum health. Order now and get started on the Total Living Drink. When you do, a generous gift will go to Randall Terry's organization to help further his work and further the kingdom. Order online and receive an online discount or call the toll-free number Call today and enjoy maximum health and energy.
An appeaser is one who feeds the crocodile, hoping it will eat him last. Sir Winston Churchill. And now, the final installment of my exclusive interview with Matt Staver from Jerusalem.
We think about, obviously, the innocent children that are murdered. 50+ million children have been murdered. But that also has an impact on those mothers who are still alive.
Yes.
And those fathers and those grandparents, and on the moral compass of society.
Yes.
We can't even begin to calculate the ripple effect from abortion that has affected every aspect of our lives. So we not only need to end abortion and restore the sanctity of human life, but we need to repent and ask God to wash us from that ugly sin and move forward with a brand new chapter, so that when we look back at this chapter of abortion, worse than the chapter even of the Holocaust.
Slavery. Yes. I'm working on a piece right now that abortion is not the same as the Holocaust, emotionally, visually, or ethically, with the premise that emotionally and visually the Holocaust is worse, but ethically abortion is worse because the babies can't defend themselves, they can't flee, they can't plead for mercy.
Abortion is different than the Holocaust, Native American Indians, issues that they faced, slavery, because those are identifiable people groups.
Right.
And those people groups can still have a generation that continues, as bad as all of those were through history. But abortion is an unidentifiable people group. And we assume that it doesn't have the same impact because we don't see it as visually as we do with others. And yet those little voices have an advocate. And that advocate is Jesus Christ himself, who said that it would be worse for you to offend one of these little ones.
Be better off if you were drowned.
You might be better drowned with a millstone hung around your neck.
Not all that non-violent, ladies and gentlemen.
So, I mean, Jesus loved the little ones, and when we just completely destroy the image of God that he allows us to be able to be a part of, that is a sin on America, and we cannot deceive ourselves that we can continue to go forward and that we can be a nation that will survive. If abortion does not stop, and if we do not repent, it's very simple. America will not survive.
Ladies and gentlemen, two quick things. Number one is they have a great law degree program at Liberty University, but you just started a distance learning program. I have a bachelor's from the State University of New York in communications, distance learning, and I just got a master's degree in diplomacy and international terrorism from Norwich University in distance learning. I love distance learning.
Very good.
Talk about it for those who can't go to the campus.
Oh, we have Liberty University School of Law for those who want to go into law, and law can be a great calling and a great opportunity and a great mission field. But for those who are interested in law or policy, we also have our online programs. We have the Paralegal Studies program, the AA and the BS in Paralegal. We have the Master of Arts in Public Policy to train individuals to literally change public policy in the capital, in the state, in the local area, and to run for office and to literally be involved in those areas. We also have other programs for other majors that we're working on for education, nursing, and every other major to have a specialty. All of these can be in law for those who are non-lawyers, to equip you in some law or policy area completely online, anywhere in the world.
And finally, did you know that I was running against Obama as a Democrat?
I did not know that.
In a primary, just to tweak him.
Is that?
Yeah, we're already running ads in Iowa.
Excellent. I did not know that.
Now, I want you to just consider, after the debacle at Notre Dame with that honorary law degree, I would be willing to accept an honorary law degree from your school.
Absolutely, absolutely. No, especially now that you're running against Obama. We'll give you a real honorary law degree.
Matt Staver, Dean of the Law School of Liberty University, delight to have you.
Thank you, my pleasure to be
God
with you.
bless you.
God bless.
I'll be right back, friend. Both we and our fathers have sinned. We have committed iniquity. We have done wickedly.
Hi, Joe Costello here, founder of Kylea Health and Energy. I want to share with you a product that has changed hundreds of thousands of lives.
Introducing the Total Living Drinks, Greens and Berry, the ultimate superfood formulas that provide you the 9 daily essential areas of nutrition your body needs. Each scoop provides the life-giving phytonutrients that come from the equivalent of 5 servings of organic vegetables and berries, probiotics for better intestinal function, antioxidants for disease prevention, and vitamins and minerals for establishing maximum health. Order now and get started on the Total Living Drink. When you do, a generous gift will go to Randall Terry's organization to help further his work and further the kingdom. Order online and receive an online discount or call the toll-free number. Call today and enjoy maximum health and energy.
James Madison said, "If men were angels, no government would be necessary." Friend, I would love it, if we could elect an angel to be the President of the United States. Wouldn't you? I would also love it if we could get the demon that's currently in the White House out. But he's not a demon. He's a human being. He's a human being who has submitted to the demons of his nature. There are other men who are trying to submit to the angels of their nature, but as the cartoon showed us when we were little kids, we've got the dark one and the light one on our shoulders telling us what to do. Sometimes we do right, sometimes we do wrong. The question about someone in government is, do they rule according to the principles of justice given by God?